Hey guys, it's TheFrXion here, or Tank12, however you call me, I don't really care. And once again, we are back on the World of Tanks webpage. We're taking a look at the World of Tanks news, and pretty much this is an overview of January. Pretty much it's a complete look back at the month. What has happened to World of Tanks? What did I like? What did I don't like? And what kind of month it has been for this game. And to be fair, this month has been very short, at least January. I mean, it's already 2018. This month for World of Tanks has been pretty damn slow, January. There hasn't been a lot of stuff. It was, in my opinion, more of an intermediate month where all they were kind of doing was add, you know, give us information for what is the next plan for the year 2018, and they have given us some ideas of patch 9.22, which was the biggest and most important thing in January, because in January we were able to test out the test server, and I think that was what January was all about. But we can take a closer look right here. The first piece of news that they have released was right here, January wallpapers. It's nothing too special, but obviously if you guys are interested in the World of Tanks wallpapers, which are actually quite nice, they have new wallpapers every month they have done it for a long time now, so they're going to be different tanks on display, and it's nice. So they sold the M4A1 Revolurise once more. This is, I think, one of the fan favorites, because it looks like it is a Sherman tank with a 105mm gun. Very, very nice vehicle. I think I'm not sure if I've done a premium tank review of this vehicle. Might be on my channel, but I have to check. I'm not entirely sure. So, most of the things that you can see right here were like deals, bundles, things that they were selling. Then they were announcing 9.22 with the preview and the test server that was released in, I think, on the 18th of January, not too long ago actually. Now we already have 9.22, but it's always nice to have a test server. Then they released the Soviet Fury, another Sherman M4 premium tank, this time around the Lotsa. Lotsa was a Soviet tank commander who was driving in a land-leased American M4 A2E1, I think, or E2, I'm not entirely sure, but with the 76 long barrel gun. Very interesting vehicle, at least historically speaking, since the Russians did not enjoy their M4 land-lease tanks. But still, in the game, it's nothing too special. I obviously picked it up. I'm a collector, but yeah, nothing too special. I might make a little video about the tank. It's nice to play, it's nice to have, but it's definitely not a tank that you have to have in your garage as a necessity. So, another thing that was very interesting were the results of the holiday ops. The holiday ops, as you guys know, went, I think, for a month. You had December 15th until January 15th, so 30 days where you could get your garage all in the festive atmosphere, and you can see all the statistics. I think I've covered them. I'm not sure, but I think I have covered them in one of the videos previously. So I'm not going to go in depth into this. It's just very interesting to see. The numbers are very, very staggering. I'm not even sure if all of this is completely legit. Wargaming possess this information. We do not. It's from all the servers combined together, and you can see like 3 billion decorations collected. That's pretty damn crazy. Yeah, and you can see all the styles that were awarded when you reached like the level 10 festive atmosphere on every nation, or like I think all the different kind of styles of Christmas. And you can see the numbers are rather low right here. Soviet New Year was the most liked one, I think. The best camo by far, in my opinion. It looks really, really cool. 160,000 people reached this. I think it's pretty damn nice. And it's always interesting to see these statistics, because these numbers, you cannot even visualize it It's pretty damn crazy. So then we have tank rewards. The January tank rewards were nothing too special, especially after the Halloween tank rewards, which were really crazy. They were really good. The January window and December, the Christmas window, weren't that good in my opinion, but I mean, it's still nice. You get free stuff by just playing the game, and that's exactly how it is supposed to be. Then 3 times plus the Ardennes offensive with the M10 Panther, which is actually historically accurate. The Germans used Panthers and dressed them up as M10s. This vehicle does not really represent the tank 100% that they have in the game, but it's very close to it. They kind of welded on the additional armor plates on the front to make it look like an M10, but since they couldn't cover it completely, it was still fairly easy to spot, and they didn't have great successes with it at the beginning. But they captured some M10s, they captured some Sherman tanks as well, and it was previous to the Ardennes offensive, so that their tanks could, get into areas that obviously German vehicles could not get into, because if they would have been spotted, they would have been shot up. But like if you have an American tank, chances are very high that you might get through the line without them shooting you because you're an American tank, right? So then obviously the biggest change right here, 9.22, and I think one of the tier 10 medium tanks that right now is very, very unbalanced. The Object 430U, a tank that has so much frontal armor that it even is better than some tier 10 heavy tanks. But more on that later. I will definitely cover the Object 430U. I didn't, I couldn't do it during the test phase. Unfortunately, I didn't have the time. But I will cover that one especially later on. Then another interesting part this time around in January, I think, were the 20 obscure tank facts. I always like these little trinkets, these little posts. They're not very informative. They're not important at all. But I think it's nice that Wargaming give us some details, some other stuff, just to keep things interesting. And these 20 obscure tank facts, I'm gonna put it all in the description, all the links, and you can read it for yourself if you haven't read it. But I think they're all pretty nice. So yeah, for example, like the word tank during World War One, the British Landship Committee changed their title to keep their new vehicle secret and not so obvious. They went with water carriers and tanks. That's also why tanks have so many nautical component names, such as a bow, hatch, hull, and sponson. Now, obviously, these things, I mean, it's always good to know. I didn't know any of that, and I think it's cool that they added something like that. I mean, it's not a lot of work. They just put it in, and when there's not a lot of stuff to cover, like this month, January hasn't been a month that had to cover a lot of stuff, except for 9.22. I think it's always nice. So you all, like, as already mentioned, it was like an intermediate month where they also kind of announced other things like February overview. And then what was very interesting, this was something that I haven't picked up on. Was something that I wanted to discuss separately, but I can just put it into this video. Actually, this is just as important, actually, just as interesting as patch 9.22, in my opinion. And we're going to take a look at it right now. You can see the Italian flag right here. And what they're doing right now, they have announced certain new changes and new tanks that will be coming into World of Tanks in the future. And one of those nations that will be coming, that is for certain, are going to be the Italian tanks. The Italian nation will come to World of Tanks with one medium tank branch and I think one heavy tank branch, but I'm not entirely sure. But it's very interesting because they have a new mechanic and they're going to change the whole concept. Because the first thing, as always, Wargaming are going to release a tier 8 premium tank. This is something that they have done for a very long time. First release a premium tank, then release the tech tree so people can actually spend money. And this is a mix of an auto-loading gun that is able to reload separate shells into its magazine or just into its gun. So it has this it's a multi-loading system, in my opinion. Um, because when you're firing, you first load the entire clip, and when you fire one shot, and you can immediately reload that clip by just putting on reload, and it will add another shell into the clip. It will not reload the entire clip, so you will not have the 35-second reload time, but you might have the, let's say, 8-second reload time to add one more shell. The less shells you have in your drum magazine, the longer it's going to take to reload. So this is going to be a very interesting mechanic, but we will talk about this later on when it is going to be released. I will add the link to the video that Wargaming have put on the website, so you can see in depth what they mean with this kind of mechanic. Excuse me, because it's going to be very interesting. You'll be able to shoot at vehicles, while reloading your gun, your auto-loading magazine, and it's going to be very interesting because there are different ways of playing the tank that will make it very interesting to see. Because when you fire all your shots at once, the reload is going to take as long as an auto-loading gun. But if you fire in like in bursts, in controlled bursts, you will not have the same reload time as an auto-loading gun, but at the same time you'll be still putting out more shots than maybe a tank that is auto-loader. But then you have to be careful that you don't, shoot like too slow, because maybe you might not do enough damage. But if you shoot too fast, and you'll have the same reload as auto-loading tank. So it's a very interesting mechanic, and I'm really interested to see where this is going. I think this is the general picture of World of Tanks right now. I think this game has never been on a better stage as it is right now. The people, I know we are all frustrated about some things. Let's talk about, like, some don't really hate artillery, some hate matchmakers, some hate like the grand battle, but at the same time I think World of Tanks has been at a moment where, like, in a position where it is really good at right now. It's a good position. I really like it. They are showing their commitment to the game, and I think the test server, this is going to be another special that we're going to be taking a look into. The test server is, I think, is a perfect example for that. So, moving on. February wallpaper, meet the object 705A. Absolutely hate to shoot that tank if it's hauled down. Then this was the first time you could pre-download a patch with 9.22, but it was only released, I think, in, like, what was it, 5th of February? So they still took a while, but you could pre-download it on the 30th of, or the 31st of January, so at least you were able to have it already on your disk installed on your hard drive, and when it was released you could immediately jump into the game. I think that was a good idea, and it's a great way of getting the games out, at least the updates out early, and being able to play the game immediately after it has launched. So other than that, January hasn't really provided us with a lot of different content. Some, bundles, some discounts on tanks. The Lotsa, for example, was released. Oh, actually, I missed one tank. I'm sorry about that. The ELC even 90. I think one of the, I'm not sure, like, the weirdest tier 8 tank in the game yet. Like the smallest tank in the game, definitely. It's ridiculous how small this tank is, but it's also very, very horrible with its gun. But it's a great scout. Like, all in all, if you look at its scouting capacity, it's a good scout. It just has really, really bad gun handling, all that stuff. So yeah, this has been January. January hasn't really knocked us off our feet. December has been really, really busy. February is going to look really, really busy as well, with different kind of seasons. A new season of, ranked battles, and a new season of global map. It's all going to be interesting, and of course I will cover it as soon as I find something worth covering for you guys. Now, January, I would say, in my opinion, intermediate month, definitely with some nice information about 9.22 and the Italian tanks. But other than that, nothing too special. And I think it's great. Wargaming are showing their commitment to the game. They're showing us, they're giving us information on how this game will develop from this point on, and they always have let us into the progression of World of Tanks, the evolution, because we were always able to check out the test server. And this is exactly what I have to do and say on this note. Now, the test server has been released once more, and you are now able to check out the new HD maps for yourself. 29 maps that have been reworked in HD. But more on that later on. I will cover it. I will cover these maps, and I'll see that I can cover them in a few videos, not just one video covering, all 29 maps. That would be like 2 hours long. But, covering the maps in a few videos added up together. And yeah. And one more information. I've started. I'm not sure if I've started at this point, but I'm planning on starting my Twitch account and live streaming. I've never done it before. I've just tested it a little bit, and I want to see where it goes. I want to live stream a little bit, and because it allows me to show more gameplay on my channel, at least on my Twitch, and at the same time I can play the game and interact with people. I just want to try it out, and the link will be in the description if you guys are interested. And as always, keep on tanking. I'll see you guys in the next one.